pink and white, holographic. Black. I need a Cricut knife. I will need a blade, housing, my scrapers, my waders, and my cheat sheet. This has the sizes that I need so I don't have to look it up. I love the Cricut ruler because it keeps my fingers out of the way of the blade. Now all of my pieces are ready for me to put on my mat. The first part will require the scoring wheel. Sorry, I can't do two things at once, y'all. Will require the scoring wheel and my premium fine point blade. I do keep all of my blades in this blade housing box. And I have one in silver that I use for paper. But it helps to put in the right tool. It wants me to put in the scoring wheel first, and Cricut Design Space and the Cricut Maker let me know that I'm doing it wrong. I'm going to go fix that right now. What it is doing now is it is cutting out the envelope. It is actually doing the score line so that I can fold the envelope easier, and then it will cut out the shape of the envelope. It is ready for removal. Cricut has a small spatula that you can use for this, but I have found that I like the glue spreaders for this part. It makes it easier for me to remove the cardstock from the paper, especially in a later. There's another bit that this is especially useful for, but I'm trying not to curl the envelope. It does take a little oomph with the cardstock to get it not to curl. You have to be very careful, but it worked. I'm going to take this over here and cut it out while I put this part together. I'm to Target today. Got a few things. Last but not least, the most important one is this pink paper. This is what is going to say the words. I couldn't remember exactly what it says, but anyway, it's all right. What I have to do with this is fold it on the scored lines. And this is the envelope. While the pink paper is cutting, I am going to see what I can do to get this envelope to stick together. I purchased this Scotch Create tape runner, which is a double-sided tape. I want to see how it works and see if it will work for me in future projects. If it doesn't work, that's okay. I have plenty more paper, and I also have adhesive glue. This is what the product looks like, and there is this clip at the bottom, or at the top. I flip back the clip all the way, closed, open. I'm going to take it and run a bead there, and here, and then I'm going to fold this up, fold that up. It held it closed. We have a winner. It's not perfect, but are any of us ever perfect? It doesn't really stay closed that well though, because look, I just pulled it open. Let me try giving it an extra. What I have here is pink cardstock, and it says, "I love you, Mom." And it created a score line, and it cut here. Let's remove this bad boy and see what we have. And then I'm going to show you why I love this so much. It's perfect. However, I have all of this. All of this is left behind. If I were using the little spatula that's in the Cricut Basic tool, it would take me forever to get this off. I'm going to use this. Did you see how quick it removed it? While the score line was great on the envelope, it did not work quite as well on this. It's the same cardstock. I'm not sure why. I can see the line. It just is a little hard to fold because I think of the design of the card. But it's still much easier than if I had just tried to fold the card without the line. The last thing that I need to do is adhere the white card to the I Love You Mom card. Scotch repositional tape to secure my white card on the pink I Love You Mom card. I'm doing it around 4 sides, and then I think I'll do an X in the middle. And I might even do a across like this. It's repositional, so when you put it down wrong the first time, you can lift it up, put it down the second time. I'm pretty sure that most people adhere it to this part so that they have room to write, and the see-through, you don't see through it. But I'm not worried about that. There's the card. Here's the envelope. And it fits right in. When you open up the back of the tab, you see a cute card. Pull it out. I love you, Mom. Isn't that perfect? And it was free on Cricut Design Space. You didn't even need the access to access this card. Love it. I am going to clean up here and prepare for the vinyl part of the project. This is holographic vinyl, and my husband got it on clearance at Hobby Lobby, and I believe this is the one that was maybe $3.62 for 3 sheets. So got a really great deal on it, but it looks kind of yellow at one angle, and at a different angle it looks pink. It's really very cool. This is a Cricut brayer, and I use it to help push my vinyl down into the mat. The way it does that. I'm going to go get these cut out, and I'll be right back. One thing I highly recommend is creating a cheat sheet for your vinyl. You can look and see what size you need to pre-cut, and it helps make things go smoother. My mother is one of the sweetest people I know, and I decided what better gift to give her than a jar of sweets. But one thing I did was cut about a 2.5 inch circle to put on the top of the jar. I also cut out this tag. The back is cardstock, and the front the same holographic vinyl that I used in this project with Mom on the front of it. I'm going to punch a little hole. If I'd been thinking, I could have had the Cricut cut a hole, but I wasn't thinking. I am going to attempt to weed out the little bits here while it's still on the mat. I normally do not weed this way on the mat. However, that did prove to be helpful. really helpful. So much so that I may use it when it's time to transfer these letters. I'm going to stick it right there. I'm going to use my brayer again. And see. Yep. It came right off that way. I need to put this rectangle onto this jar. It is dry. And very carefully, I'm going to attempt to do this without any bubbles and wrinkles. The good news is it looks 100% better than it did the first time I did it. It actually looks really good. I'm very pleased with how this is turning out so far. That was surprisingly simple. Next, I'm going to try to center this black square, black rectangle over the holographic vinyl. Now, try it that way. Try turning it upside down and pulling it backwards. When you're doing something and it's not working, it's always best to try something different. You never know if it will work. Like, I'm having trouble getting this word stuck right here. Well, instead of keeping going this way, I'm going to try and come at it from a different angle. Alright, one letter is still being a peach. There we go. Now it's time to put on the words. Very gently smoothing out my letters before I want to make sure that it's on right before I go crazy. And it is. And the phrase that I've chosen is, "Nothing is quite as sweet as you." Fitting that there's candy inside. I'm holding my breath. Yay! Y'all, I got to tell you, the first time I did this, it was an epic fail. It looks so much better now. Nothing is quite as sweet as you. The first time I made this, I used a different font. I used upper and lowercase letters, and things kept disappearing. In this one, I simplified the phrase and used all uppercase letters, and it worked. On an upcoming video, I'm going to show you the present I make for my dad. Warning, it has a little toilet humor. That's it! I made it! And then she can say, "My daughter made me that. Isn't my daughter so sweet? My sweet girl." This is what the product looks like. It helps if I'm... Why is it sliding? This is what the product looks like. Why is it blurry? And it comes out this end. I'm going to take it and run a bead. No, I'm not.